What's up, guys? So what I want to cover in today's video are strict chin-ups, and in particular, how do we take someone that doesn't have a strict chin-up and progress them to their first strict chin-up? And chin-ups are a great kind of entry-level bodyweight pulling exercise. They help lay the foundation to more advanced things such as strict muscle-ups, rope climbs, and eventually one-arm chin-ups. And honestly, for any athlete, reaching a first bodyweight strict chin-up is a great milestone to accomplish. But unfortunately, from my perspective, I feel like people really approach the beginning stages of this process incorrectly, and they neglect a lot of the structural balance, strength, mobility components that need to be laid down in the beginning stages to build a solid foundation to progress later on. So looking at the warm-up here, we're going to keep it super simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to accumulate 120 seconds of passive hanging. So passive meaning shoulders up in the ears, distracting the spine as much as possible, letting the rib cage flare out. If you're comfortable in kind of this pronated grip, you can play around with supinated. It's going to be a little more intense, but the two key concepts, or the 2 points of this warm-up. First of all, to open up the shoulders, open up the upper back, but also to condition the grip, because people's grip strength is so deconditioned, and there's a strong correlation between grip strength and pulling strength. Moving on to the actual routine now, the primary exercise we're going to do is chin over the bar holds. And whenever we're developing any new bodyweight exercise, we always want to solidify the starting position and the ending position before we actually move through that range of motion. And in terms of the chin up, that ending position is going to be chin over the bar holds. It's definitely going to be much more taxing than that beginning position. So that's why kind of our primary or our big exercise is going to be those chin over the bar holds. Ideally, you want to be able to hold those chin over the bar holds for at least 7 seconds if you're going to start out with the full variation. If you're incapable of that, we've got an option A, which is banded chin over the bar holds. Simply loop up a band, and you're going to use the band as a little support to hold you up there, and then as you continue to increase your strength, you decrease the band tension until you're doing it without the band. If you don't have if you don't have access to bands, we can do an option B, which is the spotted chin over the bar hold, and then as you continue to increase strength in this position, you go up onto your tippy toes, you go up onto one foot, until eventually you're levitating in this position. Whichever variation of the chin over the bar holds you're going to choose to do, the points of performance are going to stay the same, which are going to be you want to make sure those elbows are behind your body, or you're imagining pulling your elbows into your back pocket, you're pushing your chest towards the ceiling, and you're gripping the hell out of the bar. You also want to make sure your thumb is wrapped around the bar, because engaging that grip can engage all the muscles up your kinetic chain to your shoulder. Moving on to our secondary exercises, we've got B1 and B2. The B1 exercises are going to be those hanging scapular retractions, which once again is that starting position of our pull-up. And I like to think of these as kind of a neurological finisher because they're a little easier than the A1, so that's why I put them later on in the workout. With these hanging scapular retractions, what they're doing is they're training the actual scapular motion we want to be able to do when we initiate a pull-up. All too often, people actually initiate a pull-up from their elbows or from their arms as opposed to their upper back. So what that's doing is that's creating a lever arm or a moment arm at their elbows where it's supporting the entire weight of their body. And for beginners, this is a great way to develop tendinitis. I'm not necessarily going to say this is a right or wrong way to do a pull-up, but in the beginning stages, I'd much more rather have people engage or pull from their upper back, which starts with a hanging scapular retraction. With those hanging scapular retractions, you're going to want to start with the elbows locked out, fingertips wrapped around the bar, that's including your thumb. From there, you're going to pull your shoulder blades down and back, keeping the elbows straight. This is going to cause your head to raise up 2 to 4 inches between your arms. You'll pause momentarily at the top of the rep, slowly lower yourself back down. You want to avoid bending your elbows throughout the entire range of motion. At the top of the rep, you should imagine you're pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades. We then supersetted or paired those hanging scapular retractions with German squats. The purpose of German squats are to improve shoulder extension. Shoulder extension is generally a range of motion that doesn't get trained in most strength and conditioning programs, and by design of most of our lifestyles, we lack that range of motion. So those two exercises are paired together. For the German squats, you're going to want to set up a barbell at roughly collarbone height. You're going to wrap your fingers around it. I like to start people roughly around the knurls of the bar. You want your pointer to pinky finger wrapped around the bar. A lot of the times, a common mistake is people's pinky fingers come off the bar as they squat down into the motion. So with all of your fingers wrapped around the bar, you want to squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, keeping your elbows locked out. As you squat down, you want to push your chest towards the ceiling. You're going to pause momentarily in the bottom position, come back up. Lastly, we're finishing up the routine with side-lying dumbbell external rotations. This is a great opportunity to get some isolated rotator cuff strength. It's something everyone can benefit from. And in terms of a beginner entry-level exercise, this is a great place to start, because by design of the exercise, with the elbow pinned against the side of our body, it's a kind of a great self-correcting exercise where beginners can really work on the rotator cuff and not really screw up the motion. With this exercise, you want to start with your working arm's elbow pinned against your side. From there, you can imagine rotating the arm against your side, kind of like a door hinge, as you work through the full range of motion of this exercise. This is a routine you can implement up to 2 times a week, and you can do it as long as necessary to reach the goal of a 20-second chin over the bar hold. Or once you can accomplish a 20-second chin over the bar hold, you've demonstrated enough connective tissue strength and integrity, enough positional strength in that chin over the bar hold, that then you can start progressing to something like eccentrics to continue to build towards those strict chin-ups.